What's up, y'all? What's going on? I'm about to give y'all like my take on discharging debt. So say for instance, this is the breakdown of discharging any debt, right? Now, the problem is that every company have their own private right and they can make their own discretion on what they want to use as far as tender of payment. No company have to abide by House Joint Resolution of 192 because that is only for the government, the United States government. When it says in House Joint Resolution 192, when it said the United States government would discharge our debt dollar upon dollar, right? Now that doesn't apply to private corporations. Private corporations, they want to accept the United States dollar or credit card or debit card as form of payment. You have to make that payment, right? But following that discharge method is not 100% accurate, but there is loopholes. And I'm going to give you an example. So if you was to obtain $1 million mortgage, right? So if you have $1 million that you owe the bank, right? Now say if you got the mortgage, they already signed off on it. What you can do is you can protect your land by filing a patent on it. And so in any case where the banks want to go and foreclose the property, say for instance they contact the court and they want to file for a foreclosure. So once the judge get all the paperwork in, he will find out, wow, we can't foreclose this property, and they'll be like, why not? The individual who you guys having a foreclosure against, he has a patent on the land, so therefore he owned the land. Now we might have ownership over the deed, but he owned the land in regards. So they'd be like, wow, so we can't get ownership back over the property. No, you guys get legal ownership in the sense of he can't sell this property to no other institutions, or no other institution will buy it due to the fact that we have our name on the deed. But if you had a patent on the house, now they can't go after the patent because the patent is intellectual property. Now you as the owner, you can sell it to another individual, but you have to transfer the ownership of the patent, not the deed. You feel me? So that's my whole take on discharging debt. So if you have a house and you want to get a discharge, I advise you, and there's other methods to discharging debt. If you don't want to pay your foreclosure, you can file an adverse possession against your own property. Adverse possession law is a little bit different from putting a land patent. It's actually way more simpler, but what makes it harder is because of that financial obligation that you owe the bank. That's why I tell a lot of people, man, file patents on your house. Because if you file a patent, you will be in a better situation than you would if you had uh the adverse possession. You feel me? So, and also cars. Now, there's another thing. Discharging cars can go the same way. You can file an adverse possession on your car as well by putting a notice that you live inside of your vehicle. And by filing that adverse possession, you can also have ownership and security that that's going to be your property. Even though your social security number and your credit take the hit, you personally will still have the asset. And that's one of the biggest things in America where a lot of people is losing out because they are so strong the fuck out on debt that they can't pay back anything. And it's like they've been paying their bills for years, and it's like it's never adding up because they are so far behind, and then the banks take it and they resell it. That's why it's very important to learn how to secure the property. Therefore, you don't have to worry about any foreclosures at the end. Because I'm not worried about a foreclosure. Because if I know if I put a patent on my home, it's safe and secured. Even though I know my social security number might take the hit or my EIN might take the hit, I still won't be personally liable in a sense where I will lose everything. Because picture this. You lose your credit, you lose your house, you lose your assets. Learn how to secure the assets, and you can lose the credit. Fuck the credit. You got a place. You need a place to stay. You need something to drive. You feel me? You can get the credit anytime you want. You can get credit repairman, and they can do what they do to help you fix your credit. But in the meantime, you need to have a place to lay your head. You feel me? So it's a lot of legal loopholes into discharging debt. But discharging debt the way with Sydney's remittance coupons and shit like that, they are not obligated to follow any of that UCC bullshit that people is telling y'all to sign off on. They not obligated to do that. Private corporations have their own independent private rights. That's why I tell everybody, when you use the EIN, it don't matter what bills you get under your name, you won't be personally liable for none of it. It don't matter if they put a foreclosure on the EIN. It wouldn't matter if they put a bankruptcy on the EIN. It wouldn't matter if they put any debt on the EIN, because that EIN is attached to an entity, not you. That's why it's always important to protect you, your assets, and everything. You feel me? Yeah. So start learning those legal loopholes. And my legal loopholes only talking about like referring to like real property. It's not like if you got a damn cell phone bill and you can't pay it, I don't know, get some money on the side or something like that, because that's kind of small. I'm really speaking for those who got like $100,000 cars and they got $500,000 homes and they strung out on a mortgage. Learn how to put a land patent on your house. Protect your assets at all costs. The money gonna come later, but in the meantime, make sure you safe. F the banks, because they always gonna be good. Because once they kick you out, they're gonna put somebody else in who they can also potentially kick out in the future. I'm out.